Multimedia fanfares may just drive our colleagues mad. For some sound advice, we need Professor Stephen Heppell. Stephen, can I make my business multimedia and still keep the peace?
Well, I hope so. But we shouldn't think about sound as being necessarily an intrusion. We use sound creatively in lots of different ways. If you think about maybe a film, sound, as well as giving us the spoken part of what's happening in the action, helps to paint the picture, helps to make the villain seem a bit more fierce, or helps to make the love scene a little bit more romantic. And we use sound in business in lots of ways too. I think most of us use sound on our answer phones to mollify and pacify customers when they're kept hanging on for a long period of time. And we spend a lot of money controlling sound in our architecture too. So we've taken sound pretty seriously in most of our working lives. We've been a little late coming to sound in our computing lives, and I think that's a surprise.
How close will multimedia bring us to sensory overload?
Well, I'm a parent with 3 children, and we get pretty close to sensory overload in my house, and everybody seems to cope, and I think that's important. Sound is an important part of our everyday lives, and we cope pretty well with the sound all around us. I mean, if we go to a party, you seem to be having a conversation with the person in front of you, but you always hear that little bit of scandal from the other side of the room very easily when somebody said something you really wanted to hear. So we cope pretty well with multiple sound sources, and I think we ignore that to our peril when we're trying to communicate with customers.
What about languages when you're talking about communication? How easy will it be to switch from one language to another?
This is fundamentally important. In London alone, we've got over 70 languages that are spoken by people as their first means of communication. And it's very hard on a computer screen to keep changing the languages in terms of the design of the screen. You imagine just having the words along the top of the screen, and now we've got to turn them around when we move maybe into kanji or Arabic or whatever. But it's very easy to change the sound of the spoken dialogue and to swap from language to language to language as people want. We can meet people's cultural needs very easily with sound and with speech in a way that we can't easily do with screen design. So it's important for us.
Now, we're already used to getting sound out of our computers, but how long will it be before we can talk to our computers, we can dictate to them, and basically operate a hands-free computing system?
Well, in my own research lab in Ultralab, we can do this now. We can talk to the computer and get it to open and close files, and it's not special. And we can also dictate to a screen and save ourselves the trouble of having to type letters. And I think that's going to be very attractive for a lot of people. But I would just leave you the thought that in a world where I can talk into a computer and it remembers everything that I've said, why should I want to turn it into text anyway? Why shouldn't I just send somebody my speech with my regional accent and all the other things that are important that are lost in the text? So I think in the long term, you won't want the text, but in the short term, you don't want the typing, and it'll be a big help.
Professor Heppell, thank you very much.